Right, in this session I want to build a nice powerful engine for my space cruiser here. So I've got it into side view. I'm going to just change to orthographic. Right, I'm going to add a cylinder. Incidentally, in this session we'll also be looking at materials in Blender. So I'm going to add a mesh and a cylinder. Right, so when you add your cylinder, it's probably the wrong size and certainly in the wrong place and facing the wrong direction. So I'm going to make some modifications here. Right, so on the X axis, I'm going to scale it to something like, say, 0.4, and on the Y axis 2. And while I'm at it, why not at the Z axis? Okay, that's more handleable. And I also want to rotate it around the x-axis. We've got the y and the z here, so the x is the only one left. So I'm going to rotate it by 90. Now, once you've made changes to an object like this, it's a good idea to apply them. So you see we've got this rotation and the scale. So it is a normal object, scaled and rotated. But now if I go to Object and Apply, and we can apply location, rotation, scale, or rotation and scale, which is the most convenient thing. Right, now it becomes this object, and its property is that it's that size and rotated in that way. As you can see, everything's been reset here. Okay, let's put the engine into place. So as I'm in orthographic mode, it's relatively easy to do that. Looks about right. I'll just have a look from the back. Okay, it's a little bit off center, and I can see that from here because I know the ship is centered. So if I center this on the x-axis as well, I know that's exactly halfway. Right, let's go back to the side view. Right, it doesn't look too bad as it is, but I'm going to add a bit more detail here. So let's move it more centrally. And then I've got it selected, so I'm going to go into edit mode. Now, I thought I might make a nice flare for the gas that's coming out. So I'm in edit mode now. I'm going to deselect everything by pressing A, and I want to select this ring. So I have to make sure that I can select the objects behind. I'm going into vertex selection, and then press B to box select, and the big box around there. So I've got all of those selected now. The next job is I want to stretch it out or extrude it. So E for extrude, and now you can see the y-axis there, so it's locked onto the y-axis. That's fine. And now I want to scale that up to make that flare. So S for scale, and I'm going to in that direction. Right, I'm going to extrude it a bit more. So again, we're locked onto the y-axis. Now I'm going to go in on itself here. So I'm going to scale it down again. And I'm going to make sure that this is the right, goes inside here so we can see the shadow in there. And extrude it again. So that's the shape I want. Let's go back into object mode, and there's my engine. Okay, doesn't look too bad, except white is not a good color for an engine, is it? Right, so I've got it selected still, and I'm going to add a new material. So going along here on the properties panel, this is materials. I haven't got any materials added. If I did have some, they would appear here, but I haven't got any. So I'm going to create a new material. Clicking on new. Right, so this is my preview window. The main color is the diffuse color, so I'm going to darken that down. Now appearing. So I'm not going to make it completely black because it's just an absence of things. Okay, that'll do quite nicely. There are lots of other options in the materials. So there's a specular which determines how shiny it is. So let's have a look at that. So I can increase the intensity of this specular, and you can see it gets a harder bright hue. I can change the hardness as well, and this brings it down to a really hard dot, as if it was a high shining surface. Okay, this would not be appropriate to an engine, and we don't really want a high intensity specular. We also are able to have it emit, so we've got an emission possibly. We can introduce transparency, but I do not want a glass engine, so that's okay like that. Now it is possible to introduce more than one color into, just going to move this in a bit more than one color into an object like that, and I'll show you how to do that. So I've still got the engine selected. Go back into edit mode, and we can see all of the panels. I'm just going to take off that, and let's say we want to color each alternate panel here in, say, a nice gold color. So here on the material slot for this particular object, I've got one material which is called material 001. I'm going to change that to black, so it's more appropriate, and I can introduce a new material slot here by clicking the plus. Right, so I've got new material. I'm going to make this one gold. Let's introduce a bit of bling into this machine. Right, and nice orangey color, I guess, a bit lighter than that. Okay, not bad. And I'll increase the shine on this and increase the hardness. And I think I'll add a little colour into the reflected light. So gold quite often reflects a sort of greeny colour. Right, so that's my gold. That's not too bad, is it? Right, so now I've got two colours. All I have to do is select the particular faces that I want to colour. So if I want to do alternates, holding the shift key, right clicking on alternate faces, and then I can select gold and assign that. There we are. And then over the other side. And assign gold to that. I can have as many colors as I like, really. Gold, assign. And assign. And then back in object mode. There's a nice blingy engine. And back into perspective view. Okay, that's it. We're ready to put it into Unity.